Good morning.
All right, so you guys are gonna be going into term 3, right?
Yes.
So it does get just a little, I mean, you might think it's fast paced now, but it gets a little faster just because you're learning different disorders and diseases and medications, just like back to back to back, I guess you can say. But the quizzes and tests, they are a little more challenging because you're not only learning like what something is, you're learning the disorders. So there can be like a certain system about the heart, and you're gonna learn like 10 disorders on it. Then you're gonna learn something about the lungs and 10 disorders on it. So I would just focus honestly on when you're focusing on learning, on reading, going through lecture and highlighting and underlining, you're gonna be, the way I see it is you gotta learn it to know it, not just pass the quiz. Cause it's gonna come back. It's always gonna come back. But me and Suk always got together and we did our dynamic quizzes. Those help a lot. You can just select the specific topics that you're learning that week. We did about 25, 50 questions each time. And that helped out just because it got our minds thinking already, like how the NCLEX style questions will be asked. And then it's kind of critical thinking, you know, and plus what the stuff you're learning. So you kind of it gets you thinking your head already for test mode. And just like I said, it's fast paced because we would get like 2 quizzes each time. So you kind of gotta like find out what works for you. Me and him would be like on Monday, oh, we're gonna study for this quiz. Tuesday we'll study for the next quiz, and then Wednesday we'll just kind of either we need more time on a specific quiz. We'll do that on Wednesdays and then take the test Thursday and Friday. And that's what works for us. But I would encourage, you know, manage your time, because sometimes we did go 3 days because we thought a topic was gonna be very tough, and then we only spent 1 day for one of the other topics, and that kind of bit us a little bit. But also want to say, when we went to term 3, we did get, the quizzes were a little bit harder, but don't get discouraged. Like I failed a few quizzes and look, I still passed the exit and stuff, you know? Just kind of keep going at it. What was the next one? And then see, I put this one up because this is what helped me when we were doing lecture. So whenever I would pay attention in lecture, listen to what the instructor's saying, and I would make little notes here and there and underline, and anything she said, oh, this is important, or this is what you should know, I would underline it and highlight it. Once lecture was over though, and I would go home and study, I would read the entire chapter again, focus on the things she said to know and that I underlined, and then I would, the tables. So many questions came from tables, boxes, and charts on trying to, like, procedures, like how to irrigate or how to specifically step by step, you know, stuff like that. So a lot of questions came from there, and that's why I put them in caps too, like focus on those. And then I always answered all the questions at the end of the chapter, and then you can see the correct responses, and then you can learn from there, like what did I do wrong or why this question is right. And then all the study guide too, the study guide book, that's what really helped too. And pretty much, yeah, you gotta, I say the way we've told each other, like you gotta learn it to know it, not just for the quiz. I don't know how many times I've said that to each other, but
you gotta know it. You gotta learn it. If you can't apply it, you can't do anything with it. You gotta know how to answer the question, because it's not gonna be comprehension. It's gonna be critical thinking. You have to apply it to what you're learning.
And for me, it's seeing it, like the amount of times you see something, like just like I said. So I see it when I'm in lecture, I see it when I'm reading it, and then I see it when I'm going back to look at the boxes. That's like 3 times, and then I do quizzes. I mean the questions after. That's 4 different times that I'm reading and I'm seeing what the system, I guess, like if it's the heart or if it's the lung, like that's how it helps me stick. And then sometimes I'd be with my girlfriend talking to her, telling her like, oh, this is what this is. And verbalizing it helps it stick, helps you be able to recall.
Nursing school questions basically ask you which orange is the most orange out of 4 oranges. So you gotta figure out which orange is a little bit less orange, and then you're gonna have 2 oranges left. Then you can narrow it down to the most orange because you know the information, you know how to apply it, and you know you're thinking critically, so you can pick the best orange. That's how I like to think of it.
And then once you guys are at term 3 too, when you get with Ms. Gina specifically, whatever she says to know it. Like you can write it down. Anything she says, it's gonna be on the test. If it's not word for word, it's gonna be on there though. Word on the street.
Good
We're on the
lecture.
word on the street.
That's a good lecture. That's a really good lecture.
You wanna go ahead?
Yeah, so I'll go over capstones. This is something you'll start in term 3, and it's basically, so you take a pre-test, and based on the pre-test, your coach, your ATI coach, we had Amy Waters, interesting person, 3 years to respond. Well, we're not gonna get into that, but she'll send you a focus review. In VADI she will at least, but in capstone she's basically gonna tell you, oh, you need to do this focus review, and then after you do the focus review, you take an assessment. This basically helps you refresh what you've learned, because in capstone there's gonna be like tips and tricks. It's gonna be one of the modules. It's gonna be like a little PDF with like the most handy tips and tricks ever. And what I've noticed is a lot of people don't like using ATI resources for ATI tests, which is interesting because ATI makes the CMSs, ATI makes the exit, so you should be studying on ATI. So you should read the ATI books. That's a really, really good source. I read almost all of them. That's how I passed my CMSs. You should do capstone because it's gonna refresh. You're gonna forget almost a lot of things when you get to capstone, but once you start doing capstone, you're gonna start remembering it. It's like a way to recall things you've actually learned before. And you gotta do all the assignments because they're really good review. You need you can do like less than a majority of it and you'll get the grades you need, but you're only cheating yourself at that point because you want to do good so you know the content, and you gotta learn the content so you can apply it.
And then like that, when you guys get to capstone, it's real, you're gonna notice like, oh, I get a whole week to do this, but sometimes I would put it off, and that's where you're like, dang it, you're rushing to like do the stuff. When you do that though, you're not really learning it because you're just trying to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do take the time, it'll tell you like, oh, the pre-test is due in 2 days, like do it before, and then the post-test is due in this many days. So just, you get a few days to do the stuff, but I would take the time to do it and actually learn it, not just, oh, I gotta finish it so it's not late,
Yeah. So VADI is extremely helpful for the exit. I should have put that in caps, my bad. But VADI is extremely helpful. So you're required to do 50% of it to even take the exit. So I'm just gonna vent a little bit here. Don't take me wrong here, but there's no point in crying because you can't take the exit because you decided to do VADI 2 days before it's due. Please don't do that. VADI is gonna help you so much when it comes to the exit. Word on the street is there might be the rationales might be a little similar, but you didn't hear that from me. You didn't hear that from me, but it might be a little similar, and it's very important because you're gonna feel so dumb doing it because you're gonna be like, oh my god, I got like a 40% on this. Yeah, everybody. It was like, do we not know anything? But it's because it's challenging you to know the rationales. It's challenging you to know what you need to know for the exit, and so. I did almost all of VADI. The only thing I didn't do was the management part because we had a management practice in class and then I just knocked out when I got home. So I was like, but I did 75% of it and I passed my exit, So just because you're at 50%, doesn't mean you should stop. It means that you should keep going, especially if you have time. And your coach, who takes like 3 years to respond, that's why you don't want to put it off to the last minute. Until your coach responds to you and gives you your focus review, she's not going to update the percentage you've completed. So that is why it's important to make sure that you are doing VADI as soon as you get it, not putting it off because then you're going to cry because you can't take the exit. So make sure you do VADI. It's extremely helpful because now you have rationales while you're taking the assessments. You have a coach that's going to give you questions based on what parts you're missing. She'll literally give questions tailored to what part of the rationales you're missing when you download the report. And she does it for you. All you gotta do is answer the questions, and she gives you feedback on those questions as well. And even if you get like a 48%, which I may or may not have gotten, she still says good job. So that's a little cherry on top.
So the VADI is a test on rationales, or?
It's basically a bunch of quizzes and tests and that you take and you read rationales as you go through it.
Oh, so basically like ATI.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would honestly really focus on VADI because VADI really helps for the exit.
Yeah.
So the stuff you see on VADI, they're very similar to stuff that's on the exit. It's not gonna be word for word, but the rationales you see, maybe
Same
just
concept.
some aspects of it, it's gonna be on the.
Yeah.
We would remember it after we were like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, some of this we saw in that.
Let's put it this way. Unitek wouldn't give it to you if it wasn't gonna help you, because, you know, this costs Unitek money to give to you, so they wouldn't give it to you if it wouldn't help you. And you wanna pass the exit, right? So you should definitely do it. So exit tips, like I said, complete VATI. When you also have an ATI live review in term 3 where a person from ATI flies out, and it wasn't Amy Waters for us, unfortunately.
She was cool though.
Yeah, she was really cool. They have a lot of great stories. They have a lot of great content to review with you. They give you like a review book. It's like a great book. It's like a really condensed. It's like a crash course. It's like
review everything. It's farm,
med search, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I read mine before the exit. I read the complete thing before the exit, and it did help me because it's what you need to know. And like I said, this book was made by ATI. ATI makes the exit. You got to put those two things together to know that this will definitely help you. And the practice A and B and the focus review, I cannot emphasize this enough. The A and B and the focus review are a literal gold mine for the type of content you're gonna see on the exit. You might say, oh, well, we don't see that for the CMS as well. You do, it's just worded differently. They have a lot of different ways to ask you a question that has the same rationalization. So you just gotta make sure you really know your rationales so you know what they're asking. You can't just memorize them, because if you have memorized them, you're not gonna get it right. You have to know what they're saying, so if it's worded differently, you can still answer the question. And do practice questions, do adaptive tests, do dynamic quizzes like me and Sergio did. We used to do like 25 to 30 a day, and it really helps because y'all can also do it in test mode. The best way to do it is in test mode, so you know.
And unseen questions.
Unseen questions, so you're not getting the repeat questions at the same time. And then after that, after you're done, you can see your percentage, and then you can look at all the rationales, and then it'll just help you become more knowledgeable, and it'll help you answer NCLEX style questions, because NCLEX style questions are, you know, they're questions. So
for the exit though, practice A and B, that really helps a lot. I did the practice A and B 3 times.
Yeah, me too.
And each time I didn't even get a great score, but I honestly thought they were harder than the exit.
Yeah.
But it prepares you, and you're gonna see the rationales. And the focus review, we started doing the ATI templates, right?
Yeah.
So we had to. That's how I said. The more times I see it, it sticks. So I seen it 2 or 3 times when I did it, and then when I had to do the ATI templates, I was actually seeing it again and writing it with the focus review. So I've seen it about 4 times, and it helps to make you seem like the exit was easy instead of it being difficult.
yeah, the exit's scary, but you all get there. We got there. You just gotta keep pushing and do use all the resources given to you. Miss Gina uploads a lot of stuff. Watch it. Watch all the videos she uploads. Look through all the handouts she posts on in the announcements. Look through it all, and you'll all do great.
Does anybody have any questions?
Daddy's not available till term 3, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll give it to you after capstone.
But it's a recap. That's why it's good to utilize it, because it's gonna go through it all. Farm, med surg, or management,
Everything. Yeah.
mental health.
Management is really
Peds,
important.
OB.
You gotta know how to prioritize, so management is really important. Any other questions?